Okay, so what we're talking about today is my difference in how I think of public speaking. You look at any textbook out there and it says how to be a better public speaker, how to be a better public speaker. I have a little different opinion on that. And I want to talk to you about that. And then I want to talk to you about the components, all the different components of the difference of opinion. Really the same information, but just a bit different. Here's why I differ. So here's the public speaking that probably your textbook says. And the way that I see it is public messaging. That is, to me, public speaking says, here are my words, and I'm going to give you my words, and I'm going to put the words in an outline, and I'm going to give you my words. And they'll be organized words. I believe it should be called public messaging because it's messages to the public, organized messages to the public. And in my mind, which is the graph that you see behind me, is just my mind working like this, working like this. So I want to talk to you about that because I think as you are putting your public messages together, really, I want you to see the big picture of it and not just the outline. That's what I think sometimes in the classroom we relegate public speaking to is your outline and delivery, outline and delivery. And I want you to see the bigger picture of it. And that's why I rename it public messaging. That's me. That's just how I think about it. So here it is, public messages. So this is a sphere, and these are the different parts of the sphere. So you have the actual public messaging. Some people create an outline and they deliver that public message from their outline. Some people use the PowerPoint as the message, but this is where you're working on your logic. You're layering logic. You're layering emotions. You're layering visual messages. So here, the next sphere is verbal to nonverbal. We can't separate them because even if I say nothing, my nonverbal is saying something. Another sphere is PowerPoint and artifacts. So today, this is not a PowerPoint, but it is an artifact. It is something that I am showing you that I created. And so that is there as well. What also runs through all public messages are as speakers, as public messengers, no matter what our message is, we have beliefs, we have attitudes, we have values, and we have behaviors. And that when you are delivering your public message, if you maybe aren't agreeing with something that you yourself are talking about, you might give it like this facial, thing, and you might show your attitude towards it. You might show your disgust towards it, or you might show your happiness or your curiosity. So we bring a lot of layers of emotions when we are doing public messaging. So all of this together on the outer circle, this is the context. Why are you delivering this? So your context surrounding it could be maybe you've been asked to deliver a wedding public message, a funeral public message, class, PTA. Maybe you have been invited to deliver a persuasive message of some sort. Maybe just the other day I was invited to a couple to deliver motivational speeches, 3M style of personal success, and I deliver it 2 times, 2 different places. I was invited the other day to deliver an informative speech about how to deal with difficult people, and that one was 2 hours, right? So my context was in higher education because these were higher education speeches, and they were to staff, faculty, students were invited as well to the 3M style of personal success. I have delivered messages at funerals. Organizations have invited me out to come and do messages. Nationally, I have done public speaking. And so the context for you could be your classroom. The context for you could be at work. The context for you could be the next interview that you have. So that context surrounds this whole sphere of public messaging. So right here, right in the middle, when everything comes together, the words that you say, the nonverbals that you have, the visual images that you bring, the message itself, when it all comes together and it's working well, and your audience members are catching your public message and they're thinking about it, you are successful. You are successful at delivering that public message. But how do you know that? You know that because they're taking notes. You know that because they're leaning forward. You know that because they're going, oh my gosh, really? You know that because afterwards they come to you and they thank you so much for that great information, or they want to ask you more questions, or someone says, here's my card, would you do this at our place? That's when you hit that middle point, because everything overlaps and it all comes together in this context right here, whatever it is, and wherever it is you're doing that public messaging. So for me, I think speaking in public is more than public speaking. That language, to me, says, I'm going to deliver words. Hope you catch them. I might have an outline. And that's all it is. I say it's about public messaging. And in the public messaging, it's all those same components that we were talking about, but there's overlap in all of this information to create the greater message. And that greater message is really dictated by the context of that speech. Why am I delivering it? All right? So thank you very much for joining me today. And I will see you soon.